Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a full face tutorial with nothing new. And in fact, several of these products I had not used in quite a long time and recently pulled them out and thought, why have I not been using these? These are really good products. Have you ever had that happen? Now, what inspired me to do this video was a dear friend that I have met here on YouTube. Her name is Elise. She approached me a couple of months ago and said, hey, would you be interested in doing a collaboration? And I said, yes. And that is because I checked out her channel and she is a working professional makeup artist in her 60s. And her focus is helping women 50 and older look and feel their more confident best. And I know that many of you fall in that age category, and I've checked out her videos, and with her experience, she has such a wealth of information. And being somebody in her 60s, she also can speak to and relate to some of you who have different issues than I may have. So I thought that was a wonderful idea. And so she has put together a similar themed video. I can't wait to watch hers and see what products she found hiding in her makeup stash. But be sure you check the description box below. I'll have a link to her channel as well as a couple of videos that I would recommend checking out. She not only does makeup tutorials and makeup techniques, but she also does a lot of beauty and makeup reviews. She recently did one on those hooded eye strips. I've had several of you ask me about those, so I was so interested to check out her review. I'll link it below because she really goes into a lot of detail and will help you make a decision of whether those are going to work or not. If you are here visiting from her channel, a very special welcome to you. I hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button. Now, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get started putting this makeup look together. All right, let's start off with a primer. This is the MAC 24-Hour Extend Eye Base. I have not used this in quite a long time, and it's very similar to my favorite one from Smashbox. And while that sets on the lid and dries down a little bit, I'm gonna apply a little something to my lips, and I pulled this out. I haven't used this in a while either. This is from Laneige, and I love their lip sleeping mask. I use it every single night, but this one has kind of like a grapefruit scent, has a little bit of a pearlized finish. I really enjoy this. It doesn't have any plumping effect, so I've recently been more opting for my Buxom lip gloss or the City Lips, but oh, this is just a really nice moisturizer. It preps the lips really well. Okay. Now for my eyeshadow palette, I had a couple that I was thinking about pulling out for this video. And then I pulled out this one randomly the other day. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's been a long time since I used it. And it is the Tarte. This is the Big Juicy palette. So I don't believe you can get this exact one anymore, but they are still selling the, I think it's the 12 pan version of this. So, and most of the shades I think that I'm going to use today should be in that palette as well. So I'm going to start off with the Sigma E50, and let's see, this is the matte shade. This is truly a complete eye look for me, all in one palette. I have that matte brow bone highlight shade that I always like to start off with. And then there are two different really brightening shimmery shades for the inner corner. And then we've got lots of depth and crease colors. So speaking of the crease, let's go in. I'm gonna start off, let's go in here with this shade right here. Let's see, I'll try and give you the names. This is Inspiring. The only thing I don't like, all of the lettering of the names of these shadows are white. So it's really hard to see without the perfect lighting what they're actually called. I'm using the Morphe M504, just putting that all through the crease. These are just so good. They are pigmented, but not super powdery, and just blend well. And I love that Tarte uses good ingredients. All right, now you can see how much color we built up just from that one. Now we're gonna go in with a little bit of this shade right here, And I'll use the BK Beauty 206 for that one. And going to just work this in the outer corner. This is going to be a pretty neutral, but I'm going more brown. Now, you know, it's hard for me to resist those rosy shades at the top, but I haven't done kind of a neutral brown look in a while, and this is going to be similar to the look I did the other day with this palette, and I just really enjoyed it. Before we finish up the outer corner, I'm gonna go in with liner now, and I pulled out my Urban Decay Demolition pencil. You know, I've been on a Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen kick, but I pulled this out, and you can tell it has been much loved. I think this is probably the second one that I've gone through of these. This is a deep, dark, matte brown, and these are one of my top favorites as far as how they perform. These do set and stay. They're waterproof. So if you have difficulties with your liner staying put through the day, definitely check out the Urban Decay 24/7 pencils. And I'm going to take this partway in. You'll see I'm not being real precise because I'm going to go over it with a little bit of shadow. So this is kind of my tip if you struggle with liner, you know, getting a real precise line. Just do what I'm gonna do and use a little shadow to smudge it out and nobody will know. And I just think a smudgy liner is a little bit of a softer look anyway, so I love that. All right, so before this completely sets, I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty 204 brush and the darkest shade in the palette, which is this one. And yeah, I don't know what color that is. I'll just list it below. How's that? All right, and I'm just going to now put that right over the top of that liner. And you can do this without liner, but your the depth at the lash line won't be quite as intense. So if that's the look you're going for, then skip the liner, go right in with the shadow. But I also feel like sometimes when I put down a liner, it just stays looking a little more precise throughout the day. So I'm gonna go in with a Morphe M506 and a little bit of this one and then our crease shade. Kind of blend those up towards the crease now. And this just really helps if you struggle with blending. You wanna mix a couple colors together. That usually will help make things a little easier to blend out, look seamless, you know, all those things that we're aiming for with eyeshadow, right? And then I'm gonna wipe off that brush and go in with a little bit of this first color we had in our crease. And I'm going real lightly around the edge there and blending up towards the brow bone, but not all the way to the brow. Okay, now when I get done, I will clean up this edge with almond oil and help it to match this side. So that's a good thing about not doing concealer and all that stuff first. You have the opportunity to clean up any edges around the eyes. So now I'm gonna go in on the lower lash line with the Urban Decay Double Life pencil. Again, another one of my favorites. This is almost like a shimmery dark copper color. And now I'm gonna take this M432 and I'm gonna use a little bit of this shade right here. Why not, right? We have it in the palette. This is a shimmery brown. And I'm just gonna kind of press that right over by using a pencil and then setting it with powder. It helps it stay in place longer as well. So if you have watery eyes, this is a good tip. And then I'm gonna use just a little bit, let's go in with this shade right next to it, just to connect the outer corner with our upper lash line there. All right, now for the fun part. Let's add some shimmer, huh? All right, we're gonna go in first with this one. And this is the kind of, it's slightly darker than this one at the top. So this is going to be our main lid shade. And I'm just using my finger I just always feel like shimmers apply better, more pigmented with your finger. So you can use a brush. I just love how Tarte shimmers look on the lid. I just think they're really flattering, not chunky glitter. Okay, and then to just better transition that shade into our darker colors in the outer corner, I'm gonna go in with this one right here, which has a little bit of peach in it. And just kind of tap that in the center. You know, this is just this makes a subtle difference, but it kind of really enhances your eye look. You can see the difference between here and here. It just looks a little better blended. And, you know, we're like artists here. We're using all of the various shades of our paints, right? And I'm gonna go back with the BK Beauty 206 and just kind of blend all of that together. All right, we'll finish up the eyes with some inner corner highlight after we've done concealer and mascara and everything. So now it's time to clean up under the eyes. And if you're new to my channel, you're probably wondering what on earth I'm using. This is almond oil. And I've used this for years and just use a little Q-tip. It not only removes any fallout from your eyeshadow, but it adds just a nice little bit of moisture before we add our concealer. So if you have dry under eyes, this is a great little tip for you. Of course, you don't want to leave too much oil there. So I'm just kind of gently, I know it looks like I'm wiping, but I'm really just little pats here with my fourth finger and just wiping away the excess there. Once again, I'm gonna let that sit for just a minute and go in with face primer. This is something I rarely do, but I've been going through my stash and I have several face primers that I have kept because they were really good. So this is the Beauty Blender, the Leveler, and this is the Pore Minimizing Primer. And I think I have the shade light, yes, light medium. So I think this comes in 2 options. And I do typically store this upside down because it is kind of sometimes a challenge to get it out. It's a little thicker, it's kind of skin tone colored, and it does though pretty much just become invisible on the skin. So I'm just pressing this in the areas where I have enlarged pores. And this is truly one of the few primers that I feel like your pores still look minimized when you add your foundation on top. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of pore filling primers that once you put your foundation on over it, you're like, I can still see those pores. So this one, I mean, can you see? And it takes a few, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds for it to kind of dry down a little bit. It does have a silicone feel to it, slightly silicone-y. It's not quite as much as the Smashbox original primer does, but it is very smoothing. I always like to put it on my lines, my forehead. It's not gonna fully, you know, it's not like you're putting putty on something, you know, wanting to fill in those cracks, but it does help, I think. And I do feel like the foundation that I'm using today, I think the reason why I had kind of stopped using it, not only was it my winter shade, but I feel like maybe it needed a primer to look its best. And that is the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation. I am wearing the shade 1.2. Yeah, that's how pale my winter skin is. And this isn't even that pale, I don't think. I'm gonna let that primer just sit for another couple seconds and I'm going to add my color corrector under the eyes. So this is the NARS Radiant Creamy Color Corrector in Light. You know, this is not new. It is a well-loved product that I did discover last year. And I do have another one I've been testing out, but you know, the theme of this video is we're using all old favorites or old products, so nothing new here. Now to apply this foundation, I pulled out my BK Beauty sponge. I have not used this in quite a while, but I've been enjoying using a dampened sponge for these more full coverage foundations. So I have my foundation here. I like to just kind of start by dabbing a little bit. Now you can see, oh, before I get started, you can see what that primer did to my face. It kind of mattified it. I mean, my pores have almost, they look like they've almost disappeared. I know they haven't, but so I like to just kind of dab a little bit on to get started and then go in with my sponge. Now, when you're using a primer like this one, your foundation is going to kind of grab it a little quicker and dry a little faster. So that's kind of why I like to use a sponge if I'm using a primer like that. So I feel like it allows you to spread out the foundation a little easier. Now I'll just dab on a little more. And the sponge is giving us a little lighter coverage than if you go in with a brush. Then I'm just taking kind of a little bit that remains down my neck. You know, I don't want to have a different color on our face than we have on our neck. So just blend that down. All right, for concealer, again, no big surprise here. If you're a regular watcher, I'm going to use Clinique. So I've been, because of the tone or the color of this foundation, I feel like I need to mix two still. So I'm going to mix WN04 and WN01. And this is the Clinique Even Better Concealer. It is my top favorite still. And so you can see the WN04 is a little dark, but the WN01 is a little light. So by combining these two, it's about perfect. Now I'm using the A506. This is the Angie Hot and Flashy and BK Beauty collaboration brush that I just love for blending in concealer. You can tap it in and it keeps your coverage there, but just blends it in so quickly. Love it. For my under eye setting powder, I'm gonna go to the Jaclyn Cosmetics Brightening Pink powder. So that's what that looks like. And I'm going to use the e.l.f. small tapered brush. I haven't used this in a while to set my under eyes. And I just use the tiniest amount of powder, tap off the brush really well. And I start on the, let's see, first you wanna make sure don't have any creases. Tap out any creases in your concealer first. And then I start on the outer corner first, and then very lightly with what's left on the brush, just set that inner corner. Looks like I actually got a lot of sleep this week. All right, now for the rest of my face, I pulled out a powder. It's been so long, I don't remember how it works, and I've actually not tried it with this foundation lately. So let's just check it out. This is the Honest Beauty, and this is the Invisible Blurring Loose Powder. We love that, don't we? So it comes like this. I do like that it stays nice and clean. So this cap kind of taps it down, and then there is that mesh there. I'm gonna try applying it with a sponge today. So this is the Laura Mercier one, but ColourPop makes one that's very similar and a lot cheaper. And so I'm just gonna kind of get that powder on there, and I'm going to press this in, starting in the area where I want the most blurring, right over those pores, although that primer is still doing a really good job. All right, let's go in with some contour bronzer. And I've recently shown this in a video, and I've just been really enjoying this again. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. Yes, we had an accident. I want to talk about it. So I'm going to use the Sigma F05. We're going to start off with the contour. I mean, can you see I've got a huge dip in this product? I think I'm going to be hitting pan on this soon because I just forgot how nice not only the color but the formulation of this is. And now this duo comes in a mini. I can't even tell you, this took me years to make the plunge and make this purchase, and I only did it when my husband needed a suggestion for a Christmas gift. But now this comes in a mini version, so you can give the mini version a try and see if you really love it. But I have just recently pulled this out again, and I've really been enjoying it. It is the perfect shade to not only contour, but also to give us a little bit of a bronzed look as well. Subtle, doesn't look like, you know, I've been on vacation, but it's a healthy glow. That's what I'm going for. Somebody was asking why I apply bronzer in the winter time. And I think it's because I just want that healthy glow to the face. And see, like it just looks natural. It gives a little contour, a little color. I'll pull a little more up on the top of the cheek there. All right, and then we're gonna go in with blush. And again, an old favorite. This is the Burt's Bees blush, and this is Sinful Cinnamon. And this is a color that looks like bronzer, like it's not gonna do much, but if you have a similar skin tone to me, I think you will really enjoy this. It's a very neutral blush, but I mean, look, it just really adds that hint of kind of peachy warmth to the tops of the cheeks. So this is one of my favorites from long ago. I forgot how much I love this. It's similar to Beige for Days or Let's Go Nude from Bare Minerals. It's just a lot cheaper. Then I forgot I need to do a little nose contour. So going back to the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood or Film Star bronzer. All right, and for highlighter, I'm just gonna go back to this one. Oh boy, yes, this has struggled from the beginning. Again, I won't go there why that all happened, but you know, this is a really beautiful highlighter. And again, one that it's not like a, you know, glow from space kind of highlighter. It doesn't have any shimmer, visible shimmer particles, but it just makes your face glow. I think Film Star Bronze and Glow, that is exactly what this does. Let's get some eyebrows on here. My least favorite part of the makeup routine, but I think one of the most important because it adds that frame around our eyes. And I pulled out a brow powder. It's been a long time since I used this. You can see at one point it was very well loved. This is the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo in Taupe. And I'm using, I think this is the Tarte brow brush, but any brush will work. I'm gonna start off with the darker of the two shades. That is clearly the one that I was using more often. And this is a great powder. It really does adhere well to the skin, even without using any kind of a brow wax first. So if you are a powder girl, you might really enjoy these, and these last forever and ever. And they are going to give you a softer brow look, which I think is maybe why I haven't used it in a while. I've kind of, you know, was enjoying that more defined definition from an actual pencil. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of this lightest shade just here in the inner corner and extend this slightly. Okay, I actually kind of like the finished look. It's very soft. It's not super defined, but hey, kind of like that sometimes. And now though, I do feel like with a powder, I definitely need a brow gel just to kind of hold everything in place. And I'm going to go in, let's see, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Wow Brow, and I'll use Taupe, I think. Let's put this here in the front and just see if that's dark enough. I have a couple of shades of this, so depending on the shade of my hair determines what color I use. Yeah, I think Taupe is good. All right, let's finish up the eyes with some inner corner highlight and mascara. Inner corner highlight, I'm gonna go in with this one. Just smooth and buttery and just slightly brighter than the shade we used on the lid. So again, this just creates just a nice gradation from bright to dark. And I love a bright inner corner. Now let's curl the lashes. I'm using my Tweezerman lash curler and then my mascara combination. Again, no surprise here. The Origins Underwear for Lashes Primer, the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara, and then on the lower lashes, I love the Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions because I know it will not smudge. And now it's time to finish up with something on the lips. So you can see I still have a good amount of that balm on. I'm just gonna wipe that off. And before going in with lip liner, I'm going to use the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I do have a video all about the reason why I do this, but I just like to put this all around the edge. The color I'm using is Soft Ochre, which is perfect if you are light to medium skin tone with kind of yellow undertones. Painterly would be the best fit if you have more pink undertones in your skin. All right, so while that sets and dries a little bit, I'm gonna tell you about my lip combination. I'm using the Urban Decay 24/7 lip pencil, and I haven't used these in quite a while. I discovered some new lip liners last year that I was loving, but these are still really good. And this shade 1993 is one of my favorite neutral kind of warm brown shades. And then the lipstick, I pulled out an oldie but a goodie, and this is from Origins. Now, I never hear anybody talk about these. These are their Bloom lipsticks. And this particular shade, Champagne Orchid, let me show you what that looks like. It is almost exactly a dupe for one of my favorite discontinued MAC lipsticks, which is the shade Plastique. And I love Plastique. In fact, I use this often when I'm not on camera because you can't get this color anymore. Well, I pulled this out and I thought, wait a second, I think that color is the same as Plastique, and it is. So this is going to be my lip combination. Let's start off with the lip liner first. And now for the lipstick. The only thing I'm not crazy about is these smell like fresh roses, but it's fresh roses and not a fakey scent. And over time, that scent really does dissipate quickly. So they are filled though with really good ingredients, and they're just moisturizing. They have a little bit of some kind of a little, this one has a little bit of a pearl shift to it. It just makes the lips just look really soft and healthy. All right, I'm gonna go back and add just a touch more blush. Now that we have our lipstick on, we can handle a little more color, I feel like. All right, so here is our finished look. And I think now you can see why I said at the beginning, I was questioning why have I not been using these products, right? Because they really do come together and create a beautiful look. So I plan to continue to reach for these products a lot more often. Thank you once again to Elise for inspiring this video. Be sure you head over to her channel to check out her collaboration video as well. I will leave a link to her channel and a couple videos in the description box below, along with a list of everything I used in today's video with product links that make it easier for you to shop. I'll also give you the information on what I'm wearing on my nails, my shirt, my jewelry, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.